Hey guys, it's Alex from Disciples here today, going over my top 4 regional deck profile from the INCOM Gaming Regional this weekend. I also got 9th at the regional on Saturday, going 6-2 on Saturday, then 6-1 on Sunday. Yeah, I lost to Gabe on Sunday. I lost to myself, I misplayed. Then on Saturday, I lost to Ben, who got first. Congrats to you. I think I misplayed there again, but I got scythed game 1 and 3. Game 3, I could play through it, but he had double fork blades, droplet as well, and my hand just couldn't play through. It could play through double fork blade, it just couldn't play through the droplet as well. I think he had an ash as well. There was just one too many interrupts, I think. But then there was Sunday, went 6-1, just lost the game because I made a couple of misplays in game 3, which just cost me the match. But then I didn't make those misplays again, so it's all good. But yeah, let's get into my deck profile. So, played Swordsoul. I played Swordsoul just because I didn't really have anything else to play. I picked up Drytron when the ban list got announced, because I was like, Drytron seems really good in this format because it's a 1-2 card combos. You don't have to play the fairy cards anymore, and you just cipher them with like negates on board, and it felt a lot stronger than everything else. But in actuality, Drytron sucks. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm playing Swordsoul. So I tried the HALQ Swordsoul build, and I've been loving it so far. So here I am. 3 Ecclesia, 3 Moyi, 2 Taya. Nothing to say here. The only like upside is that Ecclesia is also just a natural tuner. And there are a couple of instances where I would like bait with Moyi, gets hand traps, then just special summon Ecclesia. Instead of like going a Taya route, just like combo that way. And even more, like, there were some lines where I did the same thing, except I had long one as well to do the negate. Like, there was a very sick match I had versus Virtual World Brave, where, like, I drew this off the Moyi, and then that just let me do HALQ combo halfway through my turn and just put him on 0 cards. I wasn't able to kill, but because he was on 0 cards, there's just no way Virtual World can come back from that. 2 tired, you don't want to play 3. Even though you realistically want more starter cards, because I found myself on the Saturday bricking quite often and just doing like long one, make Baron, hand traps pass. So like in those instances you want more of this card, but if you haven't got a way to put a worm or a Swordsoul card in the graveyard, this card just becomes one of the worst cards in your deck. So this was fine. Nothing to say about it. Then the 10E package. So I decided to just opt for 3 of each for this, and then 2 Vessel as the spell tech. Originally I was playing just 2 of this, but I decided for 3 just because I wanted to improve the chances, improve the deck going second drastically, because even though I've got enough room for 12 like go second cards, just having the engine cards like the Shooter for going second, make your pushes a lot stronger, especially just like in this deck where you just like tuner and non-tuner helps. So like being able to make Monk, just summon Adhara, then like that just lets you push. All these cards were sick. I thought I was gonna combo a lot more of this, but didn't. So it's kind of, it was good. It was good. Definitely instead of change here. Definitely want to play free Adhara just because it's a tuner. Vessel was better in than Circle, in my opinion, going into the weekend. Ending the weekend, if I was going to play either of them, I think Circle might be better now just because of the rising popularity of Ghost Ogre. And because of that, it makes this card's decent. But like either way, if you're playing them, I think you need to play Shafana, which I cut in the end because I found that it just wasn't coming up for me. And there was probably 1 or 2 times it came up the weekend where like if I had it, I would have been able to like make another synchro, but it didn't really like impact my play this weekend. But going forward, I might start testing it again. This card was good, but I was starting out a lot going second just because I wanted more live cards going second, because sometimes getting an almost on board is a little bit tough with this. Then the lad, the Spanish Despoto one. So this card's just, it overperformed. There was even like a hand where like I opened like just like this, and just put special, make it level 8, and that was enough. But yeah, this card, like every single time you resolve HALQ, into this, like you just feel like you can't lose that game. Yeah, honestly, just having this card come back is cool. As you can see, I played Arclight as well, so in any of the combos where like I went into HALQ with a Shuna in play, it meant I could turn this and one of the tokens into Arclight, then this bring out Adhara with the other two tokens, make Yazi, then either Baron Pop or what's it called? Auroradon Tribute Pop the Yazi, so it just gives you more interrupts. And having be able to end like on 2 Omni Negates sometimes is just like really strong, especially as this is like a macro protection droplet, etc. This card would have performed if I ever summoned it, which I didn't. So I think I'm going to change it for a different card, but I'll talk about that later. Then these, so this is like standard, obviously, 3 magic consistency. Then the blackout. There was a lot of times actually I ended up searching 10 cards off of this, which was really interesting. The blackout, obviously standard. Then the summit. So Gabe questioned why I was playing the summit a lot, but I found actually like going second, this is the card I'll be searching for the most. And just being able to like use this and like use your resources a lot more efficiently going second, like being able to like tire, dump like a Moyi, search this when you're making your Shija, then use this to bring back and just make another synchro. I also found that going second when I was going into the HALQ lines, a lot of the time if I had like Adhara plus say Moyi and another card, go special normal, then if this resolved, because a lot of the time when you're doing this play, you're trying you summon this so that if this doesn't resolve, sorry, you can make HALQ. But I was finding that if this did resolve, I was just making Shijao, searching for this, drawing a card, and then I was just going into the HALQ play anyway. And then that way, either they're just dead, or I've at least got the summit follow up to summon back Shijao and this an Omni Negate. Oh, sorry, it's not Omni Negate, it's a interrupt. And just put a lot of pressure on. But this card overperformed for me this weekend. There's definitely no way I'd cut it. And Gabe, you're wrong. So yeah, that's what I need to know. Weird one. 2 emergency teleport. So I'm just gonna go into the second card. So 3 droplet, 3 imperm, 3 ash, and 3 ogre. So on Friday night, I was not playing this card. This is a 42 card deck. So on Friday night, I had this set 0, and these were Veilers going into the weekend. But then I just kind of like tried Ghost Ogre. I was told by Leon to play Ghost Ogre, and I tried it, and it just started performing for me. I hadn't played against any Brave decks before this weekend, then almost every single round was Brave. But this card overperformed. It was literally the best card on my deck this entire weekend. The last day I played 2 and 1 Pot of Desires. I decided to cut Pot of Desires because there are a couple of times that honestly it banished the 001, and if I started with it and I was just like, no, I don't want to like play risky with this. Like I'd rather just be able to win with this instead of like the advantage, even though it may be wrong. But I just found that I was getting more punished for it with the 001. So yeah, Ghost Ogre honestly overperformed for me. Ash Imperm were pretty average, to be honest. They kind of sucked, but you're just trying to draw 2 hand traps sometimes. Droplet also overperformed by Ogre. MVP, honestly, like it was the one hand trap that just felt like it was doing enough. One is just one. So 2 Telly. This is kind of simple. Like I know there's a rare one here, but going into the weekend we had 2 German unlim ultis. Between me and Bancroft, so we're like, fuck it, I'll play 2, because I really hate the mismatching rarities, and we're not going to talk about the secret and the 2 super ghost ogres. But in hindsight, like honestly, this card should definitely be at 3 in my deck. This card was one of the best cards in my deck on Sunday. Saturday, I didn't see it enough to just decide if it was good or not. But playing it anytime I drew it on Sunday, it just felt like there's no way I was losing that game. So yeah, this overperformed. Definitely would play 3, and I know there are also people playing the punk engine and stuff like that to get off this, and I don't like that. I saw people playing it on Sunday, and I just felt that the punk cards you never wanted to start your combo by normal summoning a punk or like E-Telly for a punk. It just felt very weak. The way I was playing this deck is like, even though you've got like the Despot 1 stuff for HALQ, I was finding that you basically just play Swordsoul, and if you bait enough interrupts that you can go into HALQ safely, you just go into HALQ and then they're dead. Like, you just win. But if I don't need to, I would rather just play Yu-Gi-Oh!, just like grind there, get there, playing Swordsoul. But a lot of the times, like any single time I just activate this card, even as a special summon Ecclesia, make HALQ, it's just curtains, you just lose. Just win even. So yeah, this card's 100% going to go to free now. There's no reason I would not play free of it now, even with Ghost Story as my only card. For these, though, just to go back to it, definitely, going forward, I definitely want to play like this. Actually, I definitely want my deck at some number, just because it's a good card to out of Xiaofeng, which comes up personally for me a lot, because of that's just how I play this deck. I play as Xiaofeng control, Xiaofeng blackout, that's how I like it. I don't know if I play Imperm. I think I would consider playing Veiler, just for the fact it's a tuner. It's a level 1 tuner as well, so you can do card plays with the 2 level 8 fish, 2 level 7 10E monsters. And also you can search it off of Xiaofeng as a monster negate, because that did come up once or twice where I was like, pop my Xiaofeng, and had to search like either Ash or like a card for next turn, or a Gregas, but like they just weren't good enough. And I needed the Veiler to stop like a Verti at one point. It's like, so that did come up, but this Imperm kind of was average for me this weekend. Maybe it's just because I played like a lot of Brave decks, or just decks that just didn't use monster effects. Like, honestly, just found that if I wasn't playing Swordsoul, which I played one of maybe, don't even think I did, like, it just was very underwhelming. I played lots of Prank Kids this weekend, and this card just sucked versus all of those. So yeah, that was my personal opinion on it. Obviously, I need to do more testing on it, so I don't know if I'd actually how good this card is, but yeah. So that's my main deck, 42 cards. The only thing I'm going to change going forward is actually just play a third of this, and play 43 cards. Even though it decreases consistency, I still just want 12 go second cards in my deck instead of 9, just because it increases the consistency of actually seeing one of them, or at least 2 of them, drastically. Don't have the maths on me, so sorry. But yeah, right, extra deck. Arclight, I'm going to come back to this at the end. Yazi, 2 backs here. The extra's pretty standard, to be honest. 2 Shizhao, 1 Berserker. Still don't know what it does because mine's Portuguese, but this is like probably like the MVP of the weekend. It just kept on coming up where it's just like breaking boards just because it like gains attack, punches over stuff. It's just insane. Xiaofeng. This effect to summon came up a couple of times as well, where I was just like, so I summoned it, like Baxia, spin 2 cards, gets negated, has an Adhara on board, and was already locked into the worms. So then I just made a Xiaofeng, punched over something, summoned, then just made Sheng Ying afterwards, and then that was just big enough with a blackout. So that's cool. This card's always, I really love this card. This is probably one of the reasons I'm playing the deck. Like, this and Baxia. Sheng Ying comes up, it's broken. Fleur, my boss monster for Saturday. 2 Monk, Shaman, Aurora on HALQ. Like, these cards are broken. Anytime, like, as long as this resolves without getting token collected, you just can't lose. I'm convinced. So Arclight, basically this is a 14 card extra deck, and you have a 15th slot. So going into the events, I basically just knew that like anytime I had Aurora play plus unused Ashuna, I could make a HALQ, then do like my Yazi pop plays, and that just felt very strong to me, and it's something I wanted to abuse because I didn't think a lot of people were playing, like the Herald especially. But then in actuality, this just never came up. I did not summon it once, and there was a lot of times where I wished it was the new Swordsoul, level 10. What's it called? Lang Ying, I think. Oh, it's just Long Yong. No way. I was told Lang Ying. Mad. Yeah, this card's really good, especially versus Brave decks. So I found like a lot of situations were actually happening where I was making Fleur post game 1, and it just wasn't enough versus the Brave cards. Like whereas if I had this instead, because my deck was so bad on Saturday, it was just literally just Fleur pass. But in any hands where I just made this instead, I banished the Adventure, then they are on just so few cards after that my hand traps and everything else just carry me through. And its effect just burning, just even the synchro effect to draw card, it just feels like you're just getting 3+s for no reason. So going forward, I'm going to be 100% playing this card, just because it just feels like it's bullying. Like I don't know how else to word it. This card just feels so strong in this format with all the Brave cards. Whereas like this line, it's cute and it seems like you'd get value from it, but the only issue I have with it is you have to be able to be wanting to make this, because I was finding that I was doing all these plays with like HALQ when going second. I wasn't finding I was doing them very often going first, so it just felt very unwarranted, I guess. So yeah, I probably would just change this for that, and that's the only change I make, because all the other cards that are needed. Side, free nib, free gamma, driver. I'm just going to go over it all, then I'll talk about it. 2 lightning storm, 3 cosmic, 3 judgment. So going first, basically I wanted a card to take out for droplet, because droplet, just in my mind, going first, you never want to have droplet because it just feels like you're going so neg when you're trying to already play the game. So I wanted to play judgment as a card that like kind of mitigates that. In hindsight, judgment was probably not the card, and I think something like anti-spell might be. The only reason I wasn't a fan of anti-spell just because I was playing like the E-Tele as well, and it's just the increased amount of spells on my deck made me feel like anti-spell wasn't the greatest, because I'm not ending on like the most powerful of boards that have always got like so much follow-up. But the issue with judgment is you pay 4k, then if they're able to resolve rights to summon a token, then summon the Griffin, bounce your guy back, that's 4k on board. So playing the judgment just feels very, very... It doesn't feel valuable right now in comparison to playing something like that. But there's definitely like room for a go first card in this deck, or in this side deck. So that's what these like 3 slots definitely going to be dedicated to. I wanted to max out, well not max out, I just wanted to play like more hand traps and more of the powerful ones. So playing Nibiru Gamma, because basically with like pairing like the Gammas with Gamma even and Nibiru with just any of these, it just meant that post side I'd have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 go second cards in my deck, and the driver, and that just meant that it felt like there was no way I wasn't drawing 2 pair. Or even like going drawing for turn, drawing like Gamma, Ogre, Imper, and Droplet. All of these cards are good to draw going second, as like your 6th card. Like there was a game where I opened Gamma and then he goes rights, does this combo. This is versus Virtual World. He ends on like a Beatrice, a Baron, a Shenying, the Trap, a Token Collector already engraved, and I'm like, fuck, like how am I beating this board? My hands like really cracked though, and then I drew Ash Return, and I'm like, oh, this might get me there. So then he goes Beatrice effects, and then I Ash it, he goes Fleur, and at that point I'm just like, okay, this is curtains. Like I activate the Gamma, he like looks at me, and then I'm like, yo, this is it. So like this card overperformed for me the entire weekend. I played I think 4 or 5 Prank Kids over both events. And it just basically meant I had 6 copies of Ash, which, like, again, just having, like, any of these cards paired with each other just meant that you're beating the Rights plus Kid almost every single time, which is nice. Yeah, Nibiru, I don't think I ever drew it, but again, it's just, like, the same theory of you want to pair this card with another card versus all these combo decks. Especially if you've got, like, you've got 9 cards that stop the negate for Nibiru, essentially. So just having like Nibiru plus any of them is probably enough for game. But yeah, Gamma honestly overperformed. If you're not playing Gamma, I think you should try it. Then Cosmic and Lightning Storm. So I wanted to play cards for the trap decks because Infamous in the UK. Cosmic being nicer because if I want to side it in versus PK and versus Prank Kids, which I was siding it in versus Prank Kids, not so much PK. Just because I thought that if after playing against PK, they were going to be having Brave stuff, and they were going to be setting up like the plays to play around Cosmic anyway, which was the case when I was playing against PK, from how they were comboing. So this card was a bit average versus that matchup, but versus Prank Kids, this field just felt like overwhelmingly powerful. Because even going first as well, this is like I was studying going first because it beats Adventure, which was, again, I was struggling with those cards this weekend. That's what I learned from this deck. So the Cosmic overperformed. Lightning Storm, I didn't play any trap decks, so can't really comment on it, but I wanted to dedicate the last 2 cards of my side deck to be able to beat those trap decks, those rogue decks, and Lightning Storm just covers the basis. It beats all of the trap decks, and it also just beats the random combo decks you might play out, just some of the guys in attack. So this card was good. But yeah, that was my deck. So sorry for the long profile. Didn't think I'd be talking this much. So rounds, I remember the Sunday rounds more. So I played 2 striker rounds 1 and 2. Then I either played Gabe, then Prank Kids, or Prank Kids, then Gabe. But either way, I beat the Prank Kids 2-0, then I lost to Gabe. Unfortunately got a game loss because I used the same sleeves from the Saturday event as the Sunday event, and they were a bit damaged, so I got a game loss there. Understandable. No animosity there, it is what it is. Then game 3, first Gabe. I win game 2, go first. Game 3, I just play badly. May have been a bit tilted, who knows. But basically my hand, like, it could play through like Ash Nib. Because I go like Rotor Spell as my first card, he ashes it. Then he's on 4 cards after I ashed his 3 cards after I ashed his Aquamancer. When he went first. And he just passed. So he has 3 cards in hand. I didn't think he's playing Nib, so I kind of think I just got a bit greedy there. Whereas like I had Atara, Moyi token, a long one. I go Shizhao, add long one. Then I just summon a long one here. But if I just go like Atara Shizhao into this, then I make this, and then summon the 3 tokens back. Then I can Threaten Baron, and I get nibbed here. So then I'd have long one, discard a Shuna. Then I'd have the token, and then I had Blackout in hand as well, and I think Droplet as well. I can't remember. But then that would just mean that I'm able to summon the long one, make the Baron, burn for 12, Ashuna, summon out Vishuda. Then I've got like 45 damage. He's taking 12, that's 57. He's on 23, 1 turn clock. He's got 3 cards to play with, and I've got Blackout plus Baron, and that just feels like it's more than enough for me to win. And I can even like bounce back the nibs. I could have popped the nib even, so like he doesn't have the body on board, which is nice. So that was the play I should have done. I just didn't do it. Then I beat another Prank Kids, Brave, that was 2-1. Then I 2-0'd Virtual World Brave, and then last round I played Leon. And that was 2-1, which should have been 2-0. But after getting double hand trapped, I go like Shaman F, discard Tyre. And then, where's Tyre? So I go Tyre, bring back Tyre, and I put it here. And anyone that knows Leon's on Mech Knight invoked, and it was just in the wrong column, and I fucked it. So then I lost, and it goes, so I summoned this back, and then he goes Lancia, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I've just summoned it in the column. If I didn't have that there, because I had an imperm, so if I summoned that literally there, he hasn't got a way to kill me through an imperm, or do anything through an imperm, so then I just win. But, oh well, that was my mistake. So yeah, I was really happy with the deck. Then shoutouts to Moffat for driving, everyone that was there, the judge team at INCOM, big up to Lewis, because he said if I got to 9th, he'd get me a box. Luckily didn't. Then, who else? Sponsors, Card Market, Metamats, Brotherhood Games, big up Mike, Not Gamers Apparel. Check out our YouTube, we've got Edison coming out today, in an hour I think, bless. Yeah, thanks for watching guys, and see you next one.